Hey, welcome to Have Your Best Week Ever. That's right, have your best week ever. I just want to welcome viewers on as they come on and just to remind you that the key thing is to focus on each day, uh, but take time every week to plan each week. And I truly believe that simply because when you do that, it really helps you set the tone for the week. And that's something that's very key to do. Just a couple housekeeping notes, and you can always go over and join us and have your best week ever Facebook group where we post a lot of the tools that we utilize uh, and the things that we teach around. And also go over to YouTube and like our YouTube channel as we begin to post these lessons as well as other videos that we do throughout the week or just throughout this journey. And I want to challenge you to go over and do that if you would. That helps us because we're looking to grow and just impact more people. So I want to challenge you to do that. Like us on YouTube, follow our YouTube channel so you get updated on that, as well as our new website, our blog. We're posting weekly uh, our blog, and you can go over to Business Growth Dynamics Consulting. That's Business Growth Dynamics Consulting.com, and just join us right there. So just a couple ways to stay connected with us and join us. Tonight I will be brief. I promise you I will be brief because I just really want to share a tool with you. I'm going to give it another minute or two for folks to get on because I want to be respectful of your time for those of you that have jumped on with us, and I want to be very respectful of your time and hopefully um, the others that come on. If not, they can catch the replay. That's the great thing about technology. You can always catch the replay and study as you need to. So as I begin to, as we talk about the growth plan and this is growth plan 2.0, we talked about actually setting the goals and in the first installment of it, talked about actually having a growth plan. A lot of people don't have a growth plan. One part of growth plan is setting goals, but I think we must be growth oriented. When I say growth oriented is that, we set goals. I mean, that's critical, but goals are something that we're not. So we must grow into becoming those new goals. We must grow and become those new goals. And I challenge you to begin to, as you set goals, determine what you must grow into to be those new goals. And as you look at the growth planner, you can go over to thegrowthplanner.com and actually download a copy of it. Just simply put in your name and email and just download a copy of it and utilize this tool because, Sunday nights, this is the tool I use to plan my week. And when I go through it, I'm going to be transparent here. I don't 100% of the time go through it like I should. And when I do, I definitely have my best week ever. And that's where I want to challenge you to begin to look at is how do you do that so you can have your best week ever? And that's one of the things that we're going to go through tonight. We're just going to go through the growth planner. And over the next couple weeks, I'm actually going to shoot some short videos on how to effectively utilize the growth planner. And by effectively utilizing the growth planner, it's going to help you have your best week ever. So simply go over to thegrowthplanner.com. That's www.thegrowthplanner.com and download it. And you can also download a copy inside of Have Your Best Week Ever. But we want to go ahead and get started as we go through the growth planner. And we're going to share that information with you and just briefly talk and walk you through utilizing the growth planner so you can have your best week ever. All right, so as we share the screen here, the key thing to the growth planner is to, let's get into the slideshow here. So the key thing to the growth planner is that you must have a system. And that's the key thing, a system. You must have a system. When you have a system, that allows things to happen automatically. And I challenge you to have that system in place so you could actually put things on autopilot, if you would. But as we talked about, the key part of growing is having goals to grow to. So I want you to begin to think about what are your top 5 goals for this year. I mean, you should have already written them down. So part of that quarterly checkup is going back and checking yourself against those top goals. If you only have three, that's fine. But to have a life in harmony, I think you got to look at various areas of your life and set goals and benchmarks in each of those areas. So one of the things that we talk about and teach through is to make sure that you have SMART goals. SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, obtainable, relevant, and time bound. So those are going to be some key things. But when you print a copy of this out, actually write those goals down and benchmark them against those 5 characteristics. You know, specific, measurable, obtainable, relevant, and time bound. And then we step back and what we call a 2x4. 2x4 is critical simply because I believe it's the foundation of moving forward and growing forward into those goals. So, you know, number one, you recapture the goal again. What is the goal? What is that big goal? And then you circle back and you want to have 2 reasons why for every goal. Why is that goal important to you? I want you to think about that. Why is that goal important to you? And identify those 2 reasons. And, you know, why stands for what helps you. Because as you grow into that goal, as you grow into the person that can achieve that goal, you're going to grow through some valleys. And that's where you look up to the why. Why is that the big, compelling reason? And then the third thing you look at is who. We have others. That's right. We have others. And when you talk about having others, I think it's very important to realize that we have resources, we have people, we have relationships that are going to help us achieve these goals. It's up to us to utilize those resources. And this tool is a way to be intentional about using those resources. This tool is a way in which we can grow into that new person. And then the last part of the 2x4, you know, you think about a 2x4, 2x4 is a piece of lumber in a house. If you think about a home, when you're building a home, you know, that 2x4 is not the biggest piece of lumber, but typically it's, you know, 9 feet, 10 foot, depending on the size of the wall, 2 inches by 4 inches in size. But they're placed 16 inches apart, and they're called studs. And the key thing about it is it adds stability to that home. It's not the foundation. It's not the foundation, but it's critical to the foundation. It's critical to the home because it is that bridge between the foundation. And when we're looking at growing forward, I think our values, our core values are really our foundation. And being able to grow daily is that part that adds stability in us moving forward towards our goals. So I want to challenge you to think about that. And at number 4 is we have action to take. What? Those of you know me, I'm a simple person. I really love acronyms because they help me remember things and help me to live lives, as I call it. You know, first we must realize, then the second thing is live lives. Yeah, how you going to go out and live it? And 2x4 is one of those tools to help you do that, just that. Now, I'm going to briefly go through this, go to the top weekly planning process worksheet. So you're going to reconnect back to those big goals. Yeah, reconnect back to them. And then I want you to go and in writing, celebrate last week. Now, this is a tool and a product that I challenge you to do every Sunday night, Monday morning at the latest. And this will help you jumpstart your week. This will help you plan your week. This will help you set up for some base hits, you know. And I'm a baseball person, and time of this recording, it's actually opening day for major leagues. But you want to set up for some hits. So you want to celebrate last week. Celebrate last week. A lot of times we're so busy, we don't focus on our wins. We don't go back and cherish those wins, celebrate those wins. And no matter how big or small they are, and you want to have a balance or in all areas of your life, you want to have some wins in all areas. You want to look at all areas. Just don't want it to be strictly in business. You know, what are some of the things you did from a spiritual growth standpoint? What are some of the things you did family time? So think about that, and I want you to take time tonight after this recording to do that. And then the next thing you do, you would write down major lessons that you learned this week. So as you look back at those wins and you begin to reflect on what may not have been a win, but it was a challenge. Wasn't a mistake. Might have been a misstep. You know, I had a huge aha this week that it's going to cause me to reshape some things as I rework the vision for my life and my company. And then, so I want you to write those lessons down, because just imagine you do this 48 to 52 times a year. Think about the tool that you have to utilize and reflect back on when you go back over 2016 at the end of this year. When you go back over the year, what a reflection tool you have. And then think back to some of the quotes that truly resonated with you. If you hear me flipping pages, I'm just going back through my day and look at some of the quotes that resonated with me. And you know, one of them was, the best way to protect the future is to invent it. One of the best ways to protect the future is to invent it. And then the other thing, planning determines the direction of your flight. Wow. Yeah. So those are some quotes that I didn't want to lose. And so I will put them there this week as I go back and look over. Now, sources of inspiration. What sources of inspiration? What things inspired you? What things that, you know, made you think? What things made you go, And then the next thing is people you would love to meet. And this could be long-term, short-term, but as you begin to capture those, believe it or not, you begin to focus on how you're going to meet them, not why you can't meet them. So you begin to focus on solutions. Now, this part here is you analyze what didn't happen. And the reason is you're looking to say, what can I do to improve? What can I do to improve in my systems and in my processes to make these things happen? And the other side of it is as you look at this, is when you look at something that didn't happen, you ask yourself, how critical was this? And when I say how critical was it, do I need to go back and reschedule it, recalendar it? And then the next section is where you put that. If it was something important that you missed, you know, there are some phone calls that I did not make last week. I have to recalendar those phone calls. I got to make them. Some projects that I did not get finished, so I must reschedule those this week. So that falls right into the next step. Clarify and commit to your biggest outcome. What are those big things you want to happen? At the end of the week, when Friday comes, what is it that you want to have accomplished? What is it that you want to say that you did, that you got done? You know, when I look at this week here, I got some key things coming up, and I got to have some accelerated action the first part of the week so I can spend some time. I want to get back out and play golf. My dad's supposed to come in town. So I want to be able to play golf Friday afternoon with a clear conscience, knowing that I did live up to my commitments for the week. But here's a place to capture those big outcomes. So just imagine each week, if you're able to do 10 big rocks, 10 big nuggets, what impact would you have on your business? And then, you know, we talk about strategic priorities. You know, we're going into a new quarter now. And one of the things I challenge you to do is ask yourself, what are those 4 projects? What are those 4 strategic priorities that you're going to focus on this quarter? And put them back up front and center. But more importantly, from the week standpoint, what is that one thing that you're going to get done this week as it relates to those projects? You know, as it relates to those priorities. And then now you begin to say, when are they going to happen? So you go back to that list of 10 and plug it in. What day are you going to do it? What day you're going to do it? The other thing you want to make sure that you include are the projects and your priorities, but also don't overload a day. So you want to, as you look at these projects and these and your priorities, you want to say, what amount of time must I schedule for it? Remember the best way to eat an elephant is bite by bite. I don't know how an elephant tastes, but best way to eat it is bite by bite, as the old proverb says. So you want to chunk those projects down. And going back to the 2x4, you could actually use the 2x4 as a project tool to break down big projects into a systematic way to make them happen. But I want you to put these in, and so Monday, what are the 4, 5, 6, 7 things that you're going to look to get done Monday? Now, when you put these big outcomes down, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do them all, but you're responsible for the outcome. If you have a team, you capture it so you can look to see who to allow it to be delegated to. Now, here's a very critical part. I want you to write down 3 people that you're going to help this week. 3 people that you're going to help. Yes, 3 people that you're going to help this week. And by helping those 3 people, how are you going to help them? They don't even have to know that you're going to help them, that you plan to help them. And then circle back and ask yourself, who can help you and how? You want to be intentional. I often have asked people saying, how can I help you right now? And what they say, I don't know, I have to get back to you. But if you have in your mind how people can help you, and I have meetings this week, and if someone asks me that question, hey, I got the answer ready for it. And then right below that, you'll see a few things to consider, just a few little growth tips to consider. Remember, everything takes longer than we think. Leave a little time for buffer time. No, you won't get it all done. Be okay with not getting everything done every time. And then the most important things you want to schedule at the beginning of the week. Especially if you're in a sales-oriented business or you're a business owner, you want to schedule those business growth calls early in the week. And then schedule time to play and have fun and dream. So I want you to do that. And then after you do that, we have what we call the weekly activity manager. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but I think one part I want to definitely mention to you about is the strategic priorities. That's those 4 projects or those 4 priorities. So you want to highlight those top 10 things that go under each one of those. Like I have promotional product business. So we actually, every week we're putting those back front and center. Got a couple projects I'm working on. So I want to make sure that those are over here so I can see them. And then I'll look at my calendar and say, okay, here are the meetings that I already have scheduled. And so it's number 1, it's top of mind. Number 2, I began to plan for those meetings and have more impact out of all of those meetings that we have. So I want to challenge you to just begin to think about how can you have the best week ever? Well, you begin that week by planning it. And when you do that, that will help you to have your best week ever. So let's see here. So as you think about your week, and hopefully this tool will help you. I know it will, but you got to use it. It's just like any other tool. You have to use it. So I want to challenge you to begin to set aside time throughout the beginning of your week. Sunday night is a great time to do it. That's why we have a call at 7:30. So we try to give you 1 or 2 tips. And this week I wanted to just share the growth planner with you. Go over, you can actually print out a copy of it. You can print out a copy and have it bounded. It's a month version to 4 weeks to have your best week ever. And I guarantee you that if you utilize this tool, some great things will happen with you this week. The other thing is, if you're having any challenges with it or just want to talk through it, simply send me a message on Facebook or go over to the group, have your best week ever, and post the questions, and we will share tips with you on it. And I think tonight as I go through my week and plan my week, I will actually go in and post some tips, and as we shoot the other videos, we will post those videos there to help you have your best week ever. Yeah, I just wanted to say again, thanks for jumping on, sharing with us, and growing with us to work to have your best week ever. And we look forward to hearing great testimonies as this year will be the best year yet. Hey, take care. God bless. And we shall see you on the other side.